What is up, parents and teachers? My name is Seth Perler. I'm an executive function coach. I wear a lot of hats in the executive function, neurodiversity, ADHD, 2E worlds. I'm here today to talk to you about Hail Mary time in the semester. Last 3 to 5 weeks of the semester, when things can often fall apart for kids with executive function challenges. And when things fall apart, they can fail their classes, and then there's a cascade of consequences because of that. So I'm going to tell you in this video, I'm going to give you 3 foundational ideas that you need to know before you help, and then I'm going to give you the exact steps, 7 exact steps that you can take to help. This will be about 15 minutes long, but this 15 minutes will save you hours and days of frustration and challenge, and will help your kids so much. So let's dive in. I'm going to first give you these 3 foundational ideas. Number 1 idea is what is at stake. Let me go over 5 things real quick that are at stake here. We want you to be clear about what's at stake, and we want your child to be clear about some things that are at stake for them. Not in a lecturing way, because we know that doesn't work, but we do want them to be aware of what's at stake if they fail classes and don't pull things together during this Hail Mary time. So first thing that's at stake is that parents are often worried about the impact of times like this, of failing classes, on their child's mental health. That is the most important thing at stake, is their mental health. So number 2 is the relationship is often at stake. The homework battles and the struggles to help your child get the things done that they need to get done can have a negative impact on the relationship, on your sense of connection, on what's called secure attachment. With attachment theory, parents are often wondering, like, what is enabling and what's too much, what's not enough, what's just right as far as me helping them. And they ask that in terms of the relationship, because oftentimes when we help too much or we help too little, when we don't sort of find that sweet spot, that can affect one's sense of secure attachment. So next thing that people are concerned about is the impact on your child's relationship with school and their love of learning. And just thinking that school sucks, or I hate school, or I'm losing my love of learning, and the next thing, number 4, that can be impacted is summer school and retaking classes in the fall, basically impacting time for you and for your child, with everything that's involved with having to go to summer school or retake classes in the fall, sometimes retaking them with the same teacher. And the 5th thing, the last thing in terms of the stakes, what's at stake here is their summer break. They could be, if they have to take summer school, they're losing very much needed freedom and spaciousness and expansion during the summer. They need a break. So those are the things we want to look at first, is what's at stake. Number 2 out of 3 here of these foundational ideas is there are 4 problems that really can keep these kids stuck. Well, the first one is that people don't understand executive function. A lot of parents and teachers have never even heard of executive function. So if they haven't heard of it or they don't understand it, and there are legitimate challenges that we don't understand, then that's a problem, obviously, that keeps people stuck. Number 2, they don't understand the Hail Mary pattern. They don't understand the dip pattern that I talk about. It's a predictable pattern that happens semester after semester with these kids as they spiral down year after year. It's predictable. We can identify it. So people just don't know that. And the next problem is resistance. The kids are resistant. They don't want your help. They don't want their teacher's help. They don't want to look different from their friends. They want to do what they want to do. They resist doing the things that would actually help them. And then number 4, the other thing that keeps them stuck, or stucker, you could say, is spring fever. Spring fever takes that resistance that he talks about and makes it even worse. They're even less motivated. Excuse me. They're even less motivated to do these things because they are checked out. Teachers are checked out. Parents are even checked out. Everybody is ready for summer. So to expect them to really catch up and stay on top of it up until the end can be really hard when the motivation's even lower. Now, next thing that I'm going to mention here, number 3 of my foundational ideas, is a big mistake that adults often make, and that is misunderstanding the can't versus the won't. When we perceive that something is a won't or can't, we intervene or help somebody differently. I honestly can't see very well right now because I'm not wearing my glasses. I don't want to wear them for the video, because I can see well enough, but you can't say to me, Seth, just try harder. Just motivate yourself to see better. Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and see better. You know, it's a can't. I can't. It's not a won't. It's not that I'm not motivated or I'm not trying or I don't care. And so often these kids they have legitimate challenges, and the adults will perceive that it's a won't. You're being lazy. You're not motivated. Just motivate yourself. Just try harder. Just work harder. Just focus more. Just get serious about school. They don't have the skills. And when we misunderstand that, we use the wrong interventions, and that can make things worse, and it can make the relationship worse. So now I'm going to tell you the exact 7 steps of what you can do. I will be having a workshop on Hail Mary. You're all welcome to attend this workshop. Click the link to get all the details on the workshop. It's fantastic. It's in depth, and I walk you and your child through this together live so that we're actually taking action. It's an intensive workshop, but it helps so much. This is what I do with my actual coaching clients every year, every semester, over and over and over, because it works. But basically, I'm going to outline these steps that we need to do. And if you want to take notes, now's the time. First thing that in my methodology you will want to do is you have to get buy-in and ownership. If you want your child to do the things that they need to do at this end of the semester, you have to get buy-in and ownership. If they don't have buy-in but you're bought in, you may get them to pass the semester or get certain things done that need to get done, but you are not empowering them to get the skills that they need, so nothing will change and you will repeat the exact same pattern again next year. So get buy-in and ownership. That's number 1. You can use my methods or whatever works for you. Number 2, after there's buy-in and ownership, the first thing we want to do is do a reset of the most important things. We want to reset. We want to declutter. We want to reorganize. Decluttering and resetting is so important in my work, and people often neglect this and just keep plowing through the work, but you really want to start with a clean slate here. You want to reset. Declutter the backpack, the locker, do locker dump, what I call the SSS, or the sacred study space. Get that back in order. I teach you how to do all of this on the workshop, but you get the gist. That is what it's about. Reset everything, get it back in order. Number 3, proactively advocate for your child. Your child probably does not want you emailing the teacher, especially if they're in middle or high school. They're gonna be like, oh, my teachers don't like it when you email them, and they'll say whatever they have to say that you don't email them. So, but either way, you need to get clarity about what needs to happen at the end of the semester for them to do well. And so many times, parents, summer break will start, parents will get the report card, they'll see that their kid failed a bunch of classes, and they're like, what happened? They see the grades and they see that, oh my gosh, there was a final exam or a final project or a reading assignment or some giant thing that pulled their grade down, and they didn't know about this. Okay, so you need to get clear on that. How do you get clear on that? Advocate, email the teacher, ask. Obviously, you're going to ask your child, but if your child is like most of the students that I work with that struggle with executive function, they're going to tell you what I told my parents, because I struggle with executive function, which is everything's fine. Leave me alone. I've got this. Just trust me. Nope, I don't have any exams, or nope, I don't have any big projects, or nope, I don't have any papers to write, or yeah, I'll take care of it, or everything's fine. It's not a big deal. So you got to get clarity, or you're going to get up to the last minute and things just aren't going to get done. Number 4, the 4th thing, again, if you're taking notes, is you have to help your child make a realistic plan of action. 4 is you have to make a realistic plan of action. Don't just hope that they're going to do enough work on enough times. I'm going to tell you how to do this real quick. I'm going to give you how to make a realistic plan of action. I go over this more in the workshop in detail with ownership and buy-in with your child live and with you there. But here's what you need. The plan of action has to be detailed and proactive. You have to figure out what missing work needs to happen and what makeup work needs to get done. It has to be detailed, but it has to be proactive. You have to sit down with your child and sit down for an hour one night and really plan out the next couple weeks. Number two, you have to understand that your kid can't do it all. Please do not expect your child, if they have 17 missing assignments in a class, to do 17 missing assignments in that class. Look at what's realistic. Look, they have to have their mental health. Like, what can they realistically do to do what is well enough? Okay. Where should your child put their energy? That's number two. When you're making this plan, look at where they should really be putting their energy. Number three, look at where you should be putting your energy. What is enabling? When you're making a plan of action, really ask yourself, how much is too much? How much is good support? There's plenty of things that you can do that are fine, that it's like, yeah, just do that for them, have them focus on X, Y, and Z work. You can go ahead and take care of scouring through the syllabi to make sure that there's no big thing or coming up that you didn't know about, or emailing the teacher. But either way, look at where your energy is going. And next is my 2 chunking strategies. What you can use mine or whatever, I don't care, but chunk. You have to chunk the work down in your plan realistically, or it's not going to get done. All right, now I told you that I was going to give you the steps. That was step number 4, was make your plan of action. Step number 5 is accountability, and not just you, meaning that your child has to have accountability. They can have study partners. Accountability can be with tutors, but they need someone to help make sure that they're getting the things done and not just playing video games or this, that, or the other. And if you can hire someone who is not you to sit down with them, if you can hire an older student who's a great student who they like hanging out with, a relative, a cousin, somebody that's a good person for them who can help with accountability throughout the next couple weeks, you're going to want to build in to your plan a bunch of times for them to have accountability. It can be with you, it can be with a teacher, it can be with after school teacher help or lunch help or whatever. Either way, accountability has to be part of this. And number 6 is advocate weekly. So you want to really ping those teachers weekly and be like, just want to make sure, not trying to bug you. Real quick email, I give you templates for that and stuff. But either way, just ping them and be like, you just want to make sure. And finally, number 7, execute this plan that we just talked about with positivity and non-attachment. Okay, so you want to really not be attached to the outcome. Do your best. Let your kid do their best. Let go. Be positive. The relationship's the most important thing. Have fun with your kid. Don't forget to not everything's not so serious. Play. Be humorous. Make jokes. Do things lovingly, compassionately, empathetically. There's a saying, wear life like a loose jacket. And I feel like for adults to remember, like during this time when you're trying to execute this plan, like wear life like a loose jacket. Like keep what's really important in the relationship at the forefront, mental health at the forefront, and do your best with everything. Now, the very last point that I want to make of everything today, after going through all of that, after going through the foundational things in the 7-step plan, the most important thing in my perception of everything with all of this is what I just mentioned. Prioritize mental health and the relationship. That is always number 1. Your relationship with your child, building a positive, secure relationship with your child, and mental health, great mental health, and your kid feeling good about who they are and how awesome they are. That's about all I got. Click the link if you want to look at the workshop and see the details about that. My name is Seth Perler. I am, again, I wear a lot of hats in the executive function, neurodiversity, 2E, and ADHD worlds. I have a summit called executivefunctionsummit.com. My site is called sethperler.com, where you can get updates. And yeah, my brain's fried after that. I hope that was helpful to you. Click the link below, and I'll see you soon. Be well. I want to wish you peace in your heart. I want to wish you joy. And as always, most important, I want to wish you connection with the people important to you, particularly the kids in your life. Take care.